Here in the back lot at Quantum Murray, this is one of the leaders across Canada in remediation strategies, in emergency response. They've got a really diverse business and dealing with some real environmental issues across Canada.
Well, Quantum Murray is really three companies that have come together in the last 2.5 years. Quantum Environmental Group, Murray Demolition, and Thompson Metals. Quantum Environmental Group started in 1992 out in Vancouver, and we are Canada's premier environmental cleanup company. So we do a lot of in-ground cleanups, contaminated soil and water, as well as above-ground cleanups, hazardous materials like asbestos, PCBs, lead. Murray Demolition is exactly as the name says, Canada's premier demolition company. And then Thompson Metals is a recycling and waste management company that handles almost all of the products that come off of our contracting sites. So we put those companies together so that at the end of the day, our clients, if they're finished with an old industrial site, they can hand us the keys. We'll go in, take out all the hazardous materials, decommission and salvage all of the reusable material, demolish the structure, get into the ground and clean it up, and at the end of the day, have a greenfield that's ready for redevelopment. Cleaning up the environment used to be an afterthought. We're significantly more integrated with many of our clients, looking at their operations and advising them oftentimes on, no, don't use this process, use this one, it'll be easier for us to decommission when the time comes. I think the latest trend that I see is all around beneficial reuse. One of the biggest problems that we have is in many jurisdictions from a regulatory point of view, once something is a waste, it's very hard to get it turned back into a product. And I use an example, things that used to go into landfills, steel, appliances, all those types of things, you know, those are products to us. We generate revenue from those kinds of things. Similarly, things like contaminated soil. We have technologies where we can treat contaminated soil and reuse them. And that whole biosolids, you know, biosol is the latest thing. It used to be that a lot of it goes to landfill, a lot of it goes straight to land application, which we're seeing a lot of change towards looking at taking what otherwise would be waste, turning them into a product.
The industrial sector of manufacturing in Ontario is a declining area. We see the growth in what we call obsolete scrap, which is scrap generated from cars, fridges, stoves, demolition. With the GTA population growing the way it is and will in the future, we see a great opportunity in the secondary scrap market versus the industrial and primary grades. The addition to demolition to our scrap metal facility has been a great source of feedstock. Our company's well equipped, is a one-stop shop company that can handle all of these situations for developers, for large corporations that are downsizing their facilities. And we see a great growth opportunity going forward with the infrastructure management of Canada changing and the government putting more money into infrastructure in the future.
A lot of what we're doing here is taking apart what our parents and our grandparents assembled on the assembly line. Essentially, if you will, this is a disassembly plant where all those products that were made and manufactured on the assembly line are now being dismantled, and everything right down to the screws, the nuts and the bolts, and the compressors and the conveyors and the metals and the wires are all being reused. Unfortunately, a lot of this material is bulked and shipped overseas to India and China, where those emerging markets have a huge appetite for scrap metals. Gary's going to talk to us a little bit about that and what the dynamics are with respect to commodities on the global market today. Anyway, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with James. James is going to take us through a tour through Thompson Metals here in Burlington, Ontario. This is Going Green for Green. Stay tuned.
This specific sea container over here, we're loading for overseas ferrous material. We call it heavy melt material. And as you can see, the crane puts it on the dock and the skid steer pushes it in. We bring various goods such as communication cable, copper, fridges, which we dismantle. We take the compressors out, aluminum rads, and we cut the extension cords, the copper, and we'll segregate it. As well as vehicles also come in here. Again, we'll take everything apart. The fuel tank, we'll dispose of it properly, and all the oils. We'll dispose of the tires, the interior, and we'll salvage in metal and segregate where applicable. We also have a bunch of aluminum rads that come in from vehicles and other equipment. Doesn't necessarily have to be cars. Sometimes it's just industrial equipment. Something very simple as pop cans come in through this facility. Aluminum rims from vehicles. Also aluminum turnings from various machine shops. Insulated wire from communication cable. Painted aluminum to just regular copper. And then it's graded from our boys inside the pedal area. Each container can vary anywhere from 38,000 to 60,000 pounds. The bulk of our material here in this section is shipped to India and China, the majority of it. So an example like this is actual pill covers from a medical lab. And this is lead and aluminum together. And it's another process that we do. Here at Thompson Metals, Quantum Murray LP, we look at everything as a resource. We try to find new innovative ways to do things and make things work so it's beneficial not only to the company but to the environment. And there's a lot of trial and errors that we do take in place, but for 10 trial and errors, 8 of them turn out in a positive manner for the company and for everybody in general. We have a Hamilton facility that we do a lot of sorting, which means that everyday garbage from contractors or residential waste now, when the truck dumps on their floor, we actually have a few pickers that go through the garbage and take out the aluminums, the coppers, anything that we can recycle, extension cords, anything we pull out of that garbage by hand. And then it goes into separate bins. We take the bins back to our Burlington facility, and from there we do more sorting, weigh it, and we ship it. Regular number 1 copper, and again, this comes in either from demo sites that we sort or just regular contractors, residential. And it comes here, we put it through our shear. We have a man cutting in small pieces, and then we stack it nicely and ready for shipment. This is some aluminum that arrives here. This is the way we get it. We then load it with a Bobcat. It loads it into our hopper. From there, what happens is a ram comes in and pushes it. It compresses it, it makes it into a bale. And that's the end result there.